r/DeadBedrooms. Wandering Soul 444 says, does your partner know how unsatisfied you are? One of the things I see on this page is, there seems to be a lack of understanding about how bad the situation is for the other person. If they don't know how unhappy you are about your sex life, are there other things they are not aware of? Several Eagle 4141 says, I told her. Turned into me relearning all the reasons she doesn't like me. OK_literature 313 says, yup. I felt so unworthy after he gave me a list of my flaws, which you tend to believe after a while. It's been over 3 years since we've been intimate. Other men seem to think I'm great. Winchester 1894 says, she doesn't care. She'll lecture me and list why she has it worse and why I'm wrong for feeling the way I do. Confuser Dragonfly says, or come back with, well, you did this and you did that, so they are putting you in your place. Downtown_forever_926 says, I explained it to mine about 2 times in the 5 years we've been together. I even approached it with you in kind of discussion about how I won't ask for it anymore. That I'd rather have a sexless marriage than disparaging over the few times I'm thrown a bone. Yeah. He threw divorce on the table after that. Told me that what's the point in being married then? Lol, I can't win. So I'm supposed to wait until he wants sex. When he's ready. When he desires it. When he's horny. It's a tired argument. Talkndity33 says, yes, she just doesn't care. Tucker0104 says, I've had the talk multiple times. Didn't seem to gain traction. Mrapotter1492 says, oh, she knows. She just doesn't care. I just ended the marriage counseling after a year of talking about just about everything except the lack of sex in our marriage. Even though that was the reason I begged her to go. She couldn't care less about sex, and I finally accepted that that will never change. Ever. My needs don't matter. Only hers. r/DeadBedrooms. Bitter Pringle says, would if you found out your low libido partner was masturbating to Facebook photos of your friends? Exactly as the title states. He does it and doesn't think it's an issue. Need to find a clear space to determine what I'm going to do, but feel I'm doing a disservice to myself by staying with them. Dapper_C_4456 says, that's LL for you with extra steps. Or is, frick, I'm creepy because with porn there's a divide. These are real people in your lives he's basically fantasizing about. There's a world of difference between, hey, Karen, my hubby jerks off to porn vs hey, Karen, my hubby jerks off to your FB pics. Snowflake_Queen97 says, oh my gosh. No. Just no. Please know that you are worth more than this guy. Grounded from Whiskey says, I found out that my line's partner was masturbating and using that as a replacement for any kind of meaningful sex with me. I had a big issue with it. I'm not gonna go months without getting any kind of intimacy or affection from him because he's having an affair with his hand. My partner isn't really lines. He has a dismissive avoidant attachment style. That's why he was choosing masturbation over sex. So, he was told to work on his issues, for real. Progress I can legitimately see, or he can get the frick out and go frick himself, pun intended. One Ludopia says, whoa, this is sick and creepy. How can you even consider staying? You tell her friends, and then everyone chills regular like nothing happened? Throw that mfka in a garbage disposal. Independent Way 3007 says, leave. If he wants your friends so bad, let him have it. He's not worth your time. DTT 907 says, Maybe harsh, but sounds like it's not low libido, but rather a lack of attraction, slash. Soft_snow_1769 says. I would be very hurt. No_researcher_4899 says. I would be thrilled. At least I would know his dick worked more than a few times a year, which is all I get. Available Poetry 994 says. I would immediately book an Airbnb to stay in long enough to find something more permanent. r/DeadBedrooms. Sunshine_sadness13 says. OMG, we had sex, and it was amazing. We had sex, not just sex, but sex my low libido, husband initiated. And it was so freaking amazing. Okay, the piv part was just okay, if I'm being honest, but the foreplay was so good. We haven't had foreplay that good and that lasted that long since we were in college. I feel like I'm on a ein cloud of happiness. It's the first time in years where it felt like he actually wanted me, and I really hope we can somehow make it happen again. Now, I'm just going to try not to pressure him to repeat the experience too soon. I'm going to try to give it 2 weeks before initiating again. Hopefully I can hold myself back. I'm always trying to force myself not to initiate, and then I fail, and end up trying to pounce on him anyway and end up making him pull away. Edit. I realize that my comment about the piv part being just okay could come off as hurtful. I don't intend it to be. Just honest. The open honesty in this subreddit is the reason I love it so much. So while the piv part was a little underwhelming physically, it was also magical emotionally, because it was the first time in 6 years where I felt like my low libido husband actually wanted to have his pee in my V, rather than seeing the act as a chore he has to finish, and that was far more important than the physical pleasure. Natama Masusaname says. Make sure you let him know how good he is. Puffing up his ego might help convince him to try again. Sunshine_sadness13 says. Oh, I did, both during and after I made a point of telling him how good it felt, and exactly what he was doing that was feeling so right, because he definitely tried something new that I want him to do again and again. Electrical_angle_701 says. And maybe work in a couple extra embraces. JB Hawk 5 says. Congratulations, messages like this give us all hope. Novel at 3854 says. That's my problem, I'm like, okay, let's do this again tomorrow, and he's like, it's never enough, is it? Lol. Sunshine_sadness13 says. Exactly. I'll enjoy it and ask to do it again, and he's just like, we did it yesterday, last week, last month, etc. Isn't it ever enough? So I'm going to try not to make him feel like it wasn't good enough this time by asking for a repeat too soon. Ash London says. Newsflash, sex is fun. Definitely can be with the right person with matching levels of frequency, expectation and desire. Low Foundation 225 says. Fantastic news. I hope it continues and gets better for you both. Anon 6025 says. I think you should print this thread out without the subname and show it to him. If he's male and has an ego and any libido, he will get the message loud and clear. If I heard words of affirmation like these, I would have an immediate libido boost. Say, have any of you women noticed a difference in your LLMSO's behavior when you have started regular exercise with them? It is supposed to raise T levels in anyone, but especially men. I would live to hear. Perhaps long walks every night, 30 minutes in any direction, then back, should be good for 3 or 4 miles. After a couple of weeks, then introduce sex talk on the walk. r/DeadBedrooms. A7 Subfan says. Are you scared to have sex again from your low libido partner? I'm terrified that he's going to make a move and we'll have sex again. Because if he does, I might catch a glimpse of hope that things will turn to better, but then it won't, so I'd have to suffer through the anticipation again. If your partner would make a move on you, would you turn it down or just take what you can get? Even if it's just once in a blue moon, and you won't know when the next time will come. I've been trying to forget sex and train myself to not needing it. But now I'm scared hell realize it's been a while and try to get it on. Tress around 702 says, nah, I already decided 2+ years ago that if he makes a move I'm saying no until he actually shows me he's serious about changing our sex life. That could mean him initiating one of the talks that I've done multiple times, or him setting up his very first therapy appointment. Crudeige_crude coke says, I train myself to not needing it. I almost cried when I read that. I realize I'm doing that too. And your question, even though I would love to have sex not with her anymore. I think that when it makes you feel awkward, then it's a no. Pardon me French 78 says, I have become LL for you, and my husband hasn't taken care of himself, so I would turn him down. We just don't have that sort of relationship anymore, and I don't think we can get it back. Snoop Predictions 1410 says, yes, the thought of this is terrifying, and last time it happened, 2 years ago, it filled me with anxiety for days afterwards. But if it's something you want to work on with the person, you have to go through it and put the effort in ultimately. I try to pretend sex doesn't exist when I'm around my partner, and he seems perfectly fine with his online fantasies and flirts with all female friends, so yeah. I wish you all the best of luck and happiness however you can find it. Mercury Almerk says, oh gosh. I'm afraid I'll no longer be attracted to her. That's my biggest fear of her suddenly wanting to resume our sex life, that I'll try to figure out loving her that way again, and I won't be able to. Old_dreamer_ says, I already can't remember. Good question. I wouldn't refuse, but I wouldn't expect anything, absolutely nothing more from it. It hurt me too much, this eternal waiting and hoping for touches. Haim Heriarch says, I'm past the point of wanting it with my wife, so if she even tries I'll be declining. We are just co-parents, roommates and just friends now. Warriors Rock 2022 says, absolutely am. I'm to a point that I'm used to it. Frustrating but used to it, and have adjusted my life to it. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.